Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddie, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
I got the Sears Outlet $500 washer, $500 dryer. I absolutely love it.
Damn it. Is it a top loader washing machine?
Yes.
Does it have one of the agitator things in the middle?
The full length one, buddy.
The full erect agitator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like that.
Mucho love. All right. What were you saying, Unkie? We're back or something?
Welcome back.
Rewind it.
Well, now since Doug knows his dryer's done, welcome back to the Cool Fireman Podcast. Let's see.
We're going to get interrupted when the washing machine finishes, too.
God damn it. Brought to you by Unkie Seasoning. He's not going to say it himself because he's too gosh damn humble. But that's okay because
apparently
we
Google,
love him for it. So go out
Google's
and get yourself some Unkie Seasoning if you haven't yet. For gosh darn sake, he's winning tournaments and meets and everything.
Hey, he ain't winning no track meet. Whoa, he ain't. No, you got ready to say that. He ain't winning no track meet.
Depending on what it is.
He's winning, dude. Chipotle and Coastal Cake. Get him. God dang it.
Yes. And like garlic and herb. Matt's just killing it with his videos. He's back.
Dude, I saw your brother posted. That was so funny.
What
Are you the new face? I said, only if you'll have me.
That wasn't my brother. That was me.
Oh, that was you? Oh, I thought it was your brother.
No, that's my personal account.
Oh,
that's me and my brother in the photo. That's when I had long hair.
Maybe that's why I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Just real quick. Let me chime in here. Shout out to all the moms. This is the day after Mother's Day. Appreciate y'all.
Well, you should have done this last week, in the last episode, but that's failed.
Okay. What? No.
Yeah. Better big late time than never.
But never late is better.
So
they tell me time is money, but we'll spend it together.
I brought up a topic
that's Drake
earlier today. What to talk about? I forgot what the main word version was, but it's basically what did y'all think about when y'all joined the fire department? We're gonna break it down to multiple segments. Matt and Doug, you're all both first generation first responders.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm third, second on the fire side. So it's different. So let's just dive into the questions, man.
Okay.
Beat around the bush.
Unkie's got questions.
Yeah, man.
I've got
a
Okay.
You calling a bush? Jesus.
So when y'all heard about your department's shift schedule, what did y'all think about that? Because y'all go from, we'll say, the 9 to 5 job or the 8-hour shift work somewhere to all of a sudden it's 24 hours. Like, what was your thought about that?
About working 24-hour shifts?
24-hour shifts, being away from home.
Loved it. I loved it. Started work when I was 21 years old. So I really, more than half my life, I've been working 24-hour shifts. But
because you were in private ambulance service, right?
Yeah, I worked for a private ambulance where we worked 24-hour shifts, which is great. I mean, we had day cars where we were 12 hours, but that almost to me was just almost like extra money, even though it wasn't. We didn't make fucking shit for money, but as far as 24-hour shifts go, brilliant. Love it. I mean, it's funny. I just had this conversation at work about, what we do and how we help people and all this stuff. And there was a time when we were getting crushed one time on a private ambulance and it was 2:00 in the morning and I'm walking out to the ambulance all, wiping my eyes. And I'm like, do I want to do this for the next 40 years of my life? Wake up at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00, 5:00, go home and be tired, And I was like, fuck it.
The washer has finished running.
Oh my God.
Now the washer's amazing.
Told you it was going to be coming up soon.
Yeah. I love it. I love doing it. It's definitely a different lifestyle. And we've talked about this before, and mostly for the wife. I think about it a lot. We drive up and down these streets in our big fire engines, our big red fire engines that should be green, apparently. And people wave to us and we give them stickers and we give them hats. We'll stop at a red light, get out of the rig and give a kid a thing. And, oh my God, thank you, which is great. I always attribute that to the men and women of the fire service before us, because they kept the strong reputation of the fire service together while we were coming up through the ranks. But who doesn't get recognition is our spouses. Like our wives are at home taking it deep, and they got the kids. They got
Pause.
Oh yeah, sorry, I can't say that.
sink-
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the sink's broken.
Bohica, Bohica. You ever heard of that?
No.
Bend over, here it comes again. All right.
Oh.
They're at home. The kids are crying. You got 14 sports. You got to cook dinner. I mean, like, they get nothing, dude. And then at the same time, here we are driving down the street in Big Red. Everybody loves us. Kids are crying when they see the fire engine. It's like, what the hell? It's like we're in a gosh darn parade every day. Now, if you don't experience that, then I'm sorry. There's another side to the fire service. I'm sure that there's some cities out there where either A, they don't like you, or you're just, I don't know, whatever. Anyways,
you got to get on the engine.
I'm kind of on a tangent. Yeah, 24-hour shifts are great. But before I end this part of the conversation and push it off to whoever else wants to speak, my schedule now, I've worked a 2-4, modified Kelly. I've worked a 4-6. I've worked a 4-6. And so people that don't know, that's work. You work 4 days with days off in between, and then you get 4 days off. Same thing. Then you get 6 days off. That's what we left. And now we're on 48.96. I'm telling you, I shouldn't be saying this on the record, but I feel like it's a scam. 48.96 is the best thing that's ever happened to our schedule. We go to work. So I get up in the morning.
Listen up, Chief Coffin.
I get up in the morning at 5 o'clock because I have an hour drive to work. Okay. So I get up at 5. I leave at 5:30.
Shift is 7 or 8? What time?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah. So I get in at 6:30 for a 7 o'clock shift. So I get to work. We do whatever. We have a conference call in the morning at 7:30, talk about what's going on, ride-alongs and training and all this bullshit. And then we go through our day. And then you go to bed at night. And obviously, I'm at the busy house, so we might get up once or twice, whatever. And then we wake up a little bit later the next day, just all together. We get up, we turn on the Friends of Big Bear Valley, the Bald Eagles, the live, which looks over Big Bear Lake in California. And we watch the sunrise, and we have Eagle romantic coffee in the morning. And then we discuss what we're going to do for the day, and we go work out. And then the rest of the day, we're just getting ready to go home. And every time you go home, like today for me, I'm on a 4-day. I go to work for 2 days. None of this get up, go to work, go home. I'm not home till 9 a.m. I'm tired. And then deal with whatever. And then I got to go back to work the next day. And then I'm off. Ugh. I can't express how much I love the 48.96. We haven't been on for very long, but I have worked overtime with it. And I've worked 96s. I'm actually working a 96 next week. And it does not bother me. I'll work 4 days in a row. I could care less, because you know what? I'm just going to have that whole next week off.
Stop. You couldn't care less. Could not care less.
Whatever.
I'm tired of correcting you on this.
You're going to continue, because it's just a natural thing that comes off my tongue. So anyways, 48.96. If you guys aren't on it, or you're thinking about going to it, I know firefighters don't like change. We've said it a million times, but I would highly suggest that you do some research. They've shown mental health benefits, sleep, because of sleep. You sleep more. I mean, the benefits have been amazing. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. Fight me, bro. Fight me. Well, you work 24/48, don't you, Doug?
Yeah.
Ugh. When you 2 days off.
When you started the fire department, you were doing 12-hour shifts at the jail?
Correct. When I came from 16 years in the correctional world. I went from, when I first started, we were doing 8-hour shifts. My first shift was 3 to 11, which was awesome for a young guy. I was 18, 19 years old, because I could go out and party at night when I got off work, if it was a work night, and I didn't have to be at work till 3 o'clock, which was great. And then the Department of Corrections transitioned to 12s. And so I was doing 12-hour shifts, which ended up being, pretty much a 13-hour shift. But whatever. I've had a lot of friends in the service that were like, dude, this is great. You come on, you try this out, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, my first 24-hour shift, I was like, all right, man, cool. What am I going to do now? And when I'm a rookie, I'm like, all right, well, obviously I had rookie shit to do during the day, but come nighttime, I'm like, all right, what are we going to do now? Shit, man, it's 8:00. I'm only halfway through. So it was the first shift was long because I probably didn't sleep much. But yeah, I love working that long. I love being there that whole time with the guys. When you have a good crew, which I do right now, it's amazing. There's a lot of talk about schedules in the country, not just in my department. And it's not isolated. It's a pretty big thing right now. There's a lot of talk of 24/72, 48/96. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. 48/96 requires only 3 shifts, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So I know our management and our leadership is pretty steadfast on 24/48. I'll tell you this. A couple of weeks ago, my medic unit was marked up 24 hours for the shift, which is abnormal for us. But when the volunteers don't run, we started marking our ambulance up. And even without that, my engine sometimes runs as ALS to the BLS volunteer unit. Well, 5 calls after midnight. So what is your first day off? Trash.
Poo. Yeah.
It's straight garbage. And some of your second day, depending on what your first day off looks like. Like if there's stuff that you have to do your first day off is trash. So there's some talk amongst the blue shirt mafia, the firefighter mafia in my department, of trying to throw some schedule change ideas at my management staff, at my leadership. I don't know how receptive they're going to be to it. I think the biggest concern with them was trying to put something in play that would entail hiring a 4th shift, because that's a big deal. Obviously 48/96 doesn't do that, but the talk with the 48/96 around here is, oh, well, if you're at a busy house, like again, my house, historically, engine 9 has been the busiest fire engine. Truck 9 has been the busiest truck. The medic, of course, doesn't run as many because they're only in service Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But the engine runs more calls because, again, they're chasing the volunteers at night. Well, here lately, we've been marking an ambulance up. I'd rather ride Medic 9 for 24 hours every 3rd or 4th day than risk getting up at night with the engine every night. So the call volume doesn't concern me. I'm not worried about that. I just want the time to recover appropriately. There's science out there. There's math out there. There's all kinds of sleep studies that show the benefits to X, Y, and Z schedule. 24/48 sucks for that, I think. As a guy who's done it for 10 years, it sucks for that. Now, granted, I can tell you my schedule for 10 years from now. I'll be off this day as long as I stay on C shift. Well, that's the same with 48/96, right? Nothing changes with that. So the talk with that was, well, if you're at a busy house, how are you going to manage that second day? Well, look, man, that's not the brass's concern. Let us handle that in the house. If Doug is getting beat up with call volume, he switches with this person and they figure it out. Doug goes and takes a nap, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, handle that in house. It shouldn't be a problem.
No.
Yeah,
At
like city of Norfolk in Virginia.
Nah.
Their ambulances do 12-hour shifts. So if you're the AM shift, you're there you're doing 12 hours. After that, you're swapping with somebody. So, because the city of Norfolk is very busy. They're on for their 12 hours.
I'll play devil's advocate for your chief, Doug. I know you're not going to like this.
No. Hold on. Let me, before you get into that, I understand what his views are. I get it. I do.
So his number one thing is safety for the firefighters? Is that what
Absolutely. And I understand it. I fully understand it. I will not dispute it.
There's pros and cons to any schedule you work.
Right. No matter what it is, there's pros and cons to all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said, bottom line is you got to work 10 days a month. So however that looks, however you break that up.
But then again, the topic of this was how it affects family life. Now, there's a lot of guys with younger kids. I'm not in that boat. I've got a 17 or soon to be 17, and my son's graduating college tomorrow. I'm basically an empty nester. Like it doesn't affect me. I can go be gone for 2 days unless something drastic happens at the house that my wife can't handle. But thankfully, I've got great neighbors to help her with that. But there's a lot of people that don't have that opportunity. They've got young kids. Like Unkie, you've got 2 young twins. You couldn't. You work you work a 48 sometimes, don't you?
Our schedule is supposed to be 48 hours on, 48 hours off, but we work 72 hours on, 24 hours off with a Kelly Day system, which is either 4 days or 8-day breaks.
Yeah. Now, when my kids were young, I couldn't imagine being gone for 48 hours at a time. So I understand the people in those situations. Like
no way.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I'm here to rebuttal that all day long.
Yeah, I was very
48 on. Amazing.
I was very fortunate,
dude.
when we did 120 hours on, because overtime was so. It's even worse now, but we capped it at 72 hours. But when they didn't cap it, we were doing 120 hours, then off for 24. And for me, I live a little ways away, so I got 20 hours to get myself take away his child.
Yeah.
The 4 hours I'm missing is traveling.
Yeah.
So 20 hours, that's including sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm spending most of the day, make my meals or get myself ready to go back to work, not getting things done around the house.
Matt,
I had to do that today.
How are you rebutting that, Matt?
I'm just saying, I'm telling you, I'm working 10 days a month, but I feel like I'm at home more. And that's the win.
That's I sleep in my bed more.
100%. Yeah.
I sleep well in my bed more.
Not only that, but I cut my driving in half.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm driving absolute half, right down the middle, because I'm only driving to work once and home once.
5 days instead of 10.
Yeah.
A cycle for us is 6 days. All right. So listen to this. If I work Thursday, Friday, that's my 48. I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, right? So if I worked Thursday, Friday, the next week I work Wednesday, Thursday. Then I work Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I work Monday, Tuesday. All those 4 weeks, I had both days of the weekend off. It's been amazing. Now, granted, I just worked the whole weekend, right? On Mother's Day. Sorry. Yeah, we had Mother's Day Friday morning. I got up early with the kids and we had a nice little breakfast, but that's the way the fire service goes. Sometimes you're going to hit that, right? So I work Saturday, Sunday, and then next week I'll work Friday, Saturday. So basically I get 4 days off of the same day, and then I work the next 2 because it's a 6-day cycle. I love it.
But you mentioned how you were rebutting it. How does obviously Kelsey has to be? It's Kelsey, right?
Yeah.
She obviously has to understand this. She does understand it, but she has to be okay with that and say, all right, for 2 days, I've got to suck it up and be the boss around the house. I don't mean that sexist, but I have to be independent. I have to do everything for 2 days, and then I get him for 4 days. And I see more pros than cons personally.
Well, 100%.
Well, how do y'all's wives handle, the holidays or birthdays and events? How's your family deal with that? Because it was new to y'all, granted,
right.
Matt, your family's younger than Doug's, but I mean, how does your family deal with birthdays and holidays with scheduling?
Well, luckily, I got put on C shift when I came out of drill school, and C shift usually has most of the major holidays off, so it hasn't been a huge problem. But again, they just look. We understand it's his schedule. It is what it is. He'll try to get off if he wants to get off, for that matter. But because we can trade shifts, like you have the ability to theoretically get off any day of the year you want. But they understand it, and because we have that flexibility of leave. And now we have flex leave. Even we get 24 hours of flex leave where you can find somebody to work your shift. Like I'm taking 4 hours of flex leave Tuesday or tomorrow rather, because my son's graduating from college. So I've got a buddy coming in and working 4 hours from 12 to 4, so I can be at Chase's graduation at 2. He gets overtime for that. I find my own coverage, but again, it's just another way to work that into making it to your favor. They understand it, man. Like Matt said, they understand it. It is what it is. It's the job. There's some shit that you just can't avoid. And okay, if we have to do Christmas on Christmas, the day after Christmas, or 2 days before Christmas, whatever. it is what it is, man.
Yeah. I would liken it, Adam, to I would use like the analogy of it's like oh my God, I just lost in my brain. I didn't get much sleep last night at work. It's been one of those days. So she's it's like a lifestyle, right? It's not just this is what I was going to say. It's not like just a diet that we just try, all the time. Like we're just like, okay, we're going to suck it up for this month. Like, no, this is just our lifestyle. Like we know ahead of time. So in my department, we rebid every year. So we rebid on rank seniority. We rebid shift and station. And it starts out with the captains go first. We all come into a room, and based on seniority, we go 1A, 3B, 4C, whatever it is, right? And so then all the engineers come in, and the captains leave, and all the engineers go, and then the engineers leave, and the firefighters go, and then boom, we've got our schedule for the next year. So I go, I'm at 1B. So what do the holidays look like? And I have a year to set that up. I'm going to
so
New York
get to bid your shift as well.
Yeah,
wow. I know we're not, and we might change stations, but we're not changing shifts unless something crazy happens, which unfortunately right now is happening because B shift is short ALS providers. So we as C shift are sending 4 ALS providers to B shift, which again, shift changes don't happen often unless it's a promotion or something like this happens. Other than that, man, and we put our annual leave in like August for the next year. Like this August, we'll put in 2026 leave.
Yeah.
Because shift changes don't happen. Stations will change, but your shift's not going to change much.
Yeah, we do annual leaves in January usually. January, February for that whole year, and then
we do November.
We usually switch sometime February, March, and everybody does moving day. It's called moving day.
Yeah.
When you move all your shit out of your lockers and you move it to your new station. Some people have been known to just be lazy and be like, I'm just staying at the same station because I don't want to have to move my shit. I came from the bigger department, Orange County Fire. What they do is they can stay in the same spot their entire career. But they'll like have to put in that they want to leave. And so that spot becomes available, or there's been times that I've heard that people will pay like, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 to give up your spot, or to tell me when you're going to give it up, you're retiring or whatever. Like there's kind of those kind of shenanigans that come on.
This is for show purposes only. That didn't really happen.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, yeah. So, and the other thing about the schedule is, Kelsey has been with me since before I was in the fire service. And so you see all the memes of, hey, you thought that marrying a firefighter was going to be great. And then it shows like the guy passed out on the couch or gone on the holiday. That's very true. You know, like
shout out Firehouse podcast for talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone wants to date a firefighter, but nobody really wants to marry a firefighter.
I totally agree with that. Like, be careful, like what you're getting. I guess you just don't know what you're getting into until you do, and then good luck.
Yeah,
throw the grenade in the room.
Start having crazy mustaches, all these weird T-shirts.
Dude, I was at Wawa the other day, and the lady was like, I had on like a regular T-shirt, like it was no fire. I had nothing on that related me to fire service. She was like, "You a fireman?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She gave me free coffee. I was like, I could tell by your mustache. I was like, "Thank you."
That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier that one of the guys at my crew was getting deployed, and he's assigned a 9 truck. Trucks are a hot commodity in my department, and there were people coming out of the woodwork like, "Hey man, I heard Billy's getting deployed." I'm talking like 6 months ago. "Hey man, I heard Billy's getting deployed. Who's gonna take his spot? I'd like to come up there. I'd like to come up there." It's insane, dude.
Yeah. But
again, because we don't bid, like you said, because I mean, I don't know.
I think that's badass, dude. That's like good morale. That's a lot of good comes from that. The people that are interested in that kind of shit, and like looking into it and wanting to maneuver around. Like that's fun. That's awesome stuff.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but our house is awesome, man. Like the 9 house is a great house. It's a busy fire engine. It's a busy fire truck. So what, you have to ride the medic sometimes, man. It's cool. But my house is busy. We have a great district of various things. We have some high-end stuff. We've got some low-end stuff. We run mutual aid to the city.
I like how it sits.
We've got highway. Yeah,
it's
you've
like a
been there.
business
Yeah.
area, so
Yeah.
it's after hours. I imagine there's nobody over there.
Yeah, because it's not on Midlothian Turnpike, which is one of the biggest thoroughfares in the county. It's not, you can't. It's tucked back away from everything. It's behind the grocery store. It's it's kind of down in a hole.
Like an
Like at
industrial
nighttime.
area.
Yeah, it's the district is very diverse. It's just a really really good house, man, and I love that people want to come there.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
And I think that says a lot about the crew there too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to toot our horn. I think we have a great crew. I got a new captain coming soon, coming out of training. He's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about that. But we have a solid crew of people, and I think that speaks a lot, just as well as the house does. Because I don't care where I'm at. If I'm working with a good crew, it's going to be fine. I don't give a damn if it's the worst house in the county. As long as the crew's good, man, I'm good. And I think that says a lot about us.
So we're kind of we're leaning into the shift change stuff. It's like, what kind of routines do y'all have? Do y'all have a amount of time to help you decompress when you come from work? Like, how long does it take y'all to get back into home mode, being at work for so long?
It's different for me. If I have a shit night, I tell my wife, I get up at 7:00. We shift change at 8. I get up at 7. Just because, if anybody wants to let me go home early, cool. But still, I just like to get up and fellowship and drink coffee with the guys. But if I have a shit night or even the shit day before, I tell my wife well beforehand, hey, rough night. I need to relax a little while, or I need to relax all day in some cases. She's okay with that. She completely understands. And I think it's just communication with your spouse, partner, whatever your situation dictates. Look, I need this. Just be open about it, man. Don't hide it, and don't try to swallow that shit. If you had some bad calls, man, like a couple of shifts ago, we had a very, very tragic call. 2 or 3, I think a 3-year-old kid got his hands on a firearm and ended up shooting himself in the head. I think it was. I take that back. The kid ended up shooting himself, and obviously he passed away. The crew that ran that call, we deployed peer support down there immediately and met them. I should say we met them. We were there at the station shortly thereafter, as soon as we could get there. I don't know how to tell my spouse that that's what I'm dealing with, and I need to come home. And again, just communicate, man. Look, hey, really, look, I had a really, really bad call. I don't want to talk about it as soon as I get home, but I'd like to talk about it. I want you to understand what I'm going through to better help you understand how to understand what I go through sometimes. That's a low frequency call. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's all communication, man. You've got to talk to your spouse about everything. They don't need to know the finite details, but you have got to talk to your spouse or partner about what you do at work and what you need from them in that case. In any case, in any day.
Yeah. How about you, Matt?
To answer your question, I'm a habitual holder overer. I love holding over. I'll drink coffee with the next crew, and I find out a lot. You find out what they're doing on their shift. We got a lot of change coming in our department. We got 4-man engine on our engine at Station 1 coming up here like right now. Mm-hmm. So we're just, we've been talking about tactics and strategies and standards, make sure that we're all kind of on the same page as to how we're going to, deploy certain stuff. And so we talk about that, and I just like to hang over. I don't know if that has any, like the psychology of whether or not that lets me decompress. I have an hour drive home, so like this morning I turned on Cameron Haynes' new book, Undeniable. And I love that guy, man. Super inspirational motivation for me. That makes me, I got on the Peloton this morning, did like a 20-minute ride. Like just, it makes me want to be better. So I try to listen to that kind of stuff on the way to work or way home. But like, as far as like decompressing, like, I don't know. Doug talks about, what we tell our spouse, and, we have to get stuff off our chests. I just do that as needed. If it comes up, hey, how was your night? Like, oh shit, we got up 3 times. We had this call, this old lady did this or whatever, right?
Because we kind of get used to it, jaded that we're going to have some funky calls, or sleep could be
Yeah.
interrupted. We get used
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we kind of not segue, but if we piggyback off of I know Brian's not here. If we piggyback off of what you're saying and routines and stuff and talk about work-life balance, and it's funny, Greg and I talked about it on the other podcast that came out today. Talked about like the difference between going to work from home and going from work to home. And the reason I say that is because like sometimes I've caught myself venting at home like I vent at work. And when we vent, because we're in a safe space here, when we vent in the fire cab, it's different than being at home and not speaking like a firefighter. And that doesn't even just go for your spouse. That can go with your friends too.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, like, what the hell did you just say?
That was
like,
very
oh shit,
morbid.
I'm not in the firehouse. I forgot,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like we're special or not. We just see different shit. We handle different things. We're at work for 48 hours at a time or longer. It's just different, man. It's different.
We see a lot of things that the general public doesn't see. For starters.
No. And these guys, and it's harder on my friendships at home, to be honest with you, because I've got these guys that kind of like reach out to me and I reach out to them. Like we're great friends, but they're like, hey, you want to have a nightcap tonight? And I'm like, I just got off a 48 or a 72. Like I got to hang with the wife. Sorry, man. Like, but that guy is home every single night. So it's tough. That part of it makes it hard because you don't want to say no every time because he's one of your best friends, and you want to hang and you want to be there for him. But it's like I'm at work for 48 hours is way different than working a 9 to 5, coming home and seeing your kids and your wife every single night. So it's different. I think we talked about that with the Dear Chiefs podcast. That's a good concept, or not a good that's just like a good topic to talk about in the fire service, is that that dynamic of being away for that long and how it affects your life. But the other side of it is being home is like at work you have routines, but at home it's almost a detriment to me, because I've noticed that my wife she's a badass.
Yes, it's my wife.
This is my wife. She's a badass. Like literally just, even when I'm at home, goes about her day as if I'm not there. And it's almost like a coping mechanism for her. It's just like, well, you're gone at work. I deal with it. Like I get up in the morning, I feed the kids, I put their lunch boxes together, and then I send them out the door by 7:20 every day. Mm-hmm. Right. And so when I'm home on my 4 days off, I'll wake up and it's like, where do I fit in here?
Yeah. You're in her way.
Right. I don't need to fit in. Yeah. So that part is very like the guilt of that. I'm not doing things. And it's like, how can I help here? But at the end of the day, I know myself, and and a lot of people might be able to relate to this, that I'm overthinking it. You know what I mean? Just one little gesture. My wife's like, oh my God, thank you. And I'm like, it might not have seemed like it was much to me, but to her, it was a lot, and it's just one little thing you took off her plate or whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, but I need to practice what I preach, because I still have a hard time with that, after all these years of working 24-hour shifts of just, just like just let her do it. Just let her do it. Yeah. But then feel guilty for not helping. So
I tend just to kind of walk around the house, like, oh, the laundry's needs a little help. I'll step in there and help with that. Just try and pick up her slack, because she runs the house. She hates when I say it. I do too. I don't live here. I stays here. I live at the firehouse. I stay here. Mm-hmm. So you run the house where you want to run it. You're here more than I am. I'll just flow in. But when I get off shift, I got an hour, 20 minutes home drive. So it's nice. A little ride home, listen to the local radio station. Everything's just fine. I'm like, stepping into the house. My house is going at 100 miles per hour. Just this going on, that going on. Even with like today, I came home. Nobody was home, but I knew I had 20 hours to get a million things done. So I got about 3% of them done. And so, and it gives me a lot of anxiety because I'm like, I gotta get this, I gotta do this, and that's like all these extra projects. And it's not like doing the dishes. But me and my wife, she knows that I, especially being at the firehouse for 72 hours away from home, and it is weird. It's like I almost want some space from being away from you for 72 hours. I need a little space to ease back in. And usually it takes me like a whole day, but I push through it when I only have 20 hours at home. I kind of make myself move forward. And me and my wife start implementing when I come to the door. I've plenty of times I'll come to the door, the twins are screaming. My wife meets me at the door walking by with a bag full of diapers, gotta throw them away, and she gives me that eye roll, and then she disappears. She going back to bed. And I'm there looking for her. I'm like, I still gotta take my morning poop. I'm like, where'd you go? And so we started implementing this. Give me 4 minutes. Give me 4 minutes soon I come in the door. Just positive stuff. Just how's it going? This, that, and everything. 4 minutes of good positivity. At 4 minutes and 1 second, then you can tell me the house is on fire. And because it sets the tone for the day. Because you open that door, I see that eye roll, or, yes, she's been up since 3 o'clock and the kids are screaming, all that stuff. That one little comment, that she's tired and everything, it sets your day back. So I was told, personally, just give me 4 minutes. And then so it sets the tone for the day. And it's been fantastic that way. So my wife, she's daggone, man. She is a super mom.
Daggone, man.
We couldn't do all of this stuff without our parents either. Our parents are very helpful with the kids.
Nice.
So
nice.
Very blessed. So yeah, that's what I got.
That's
for
good to have.
Morning.
Yeah, I love that you guys put in that, you recognize that there's an issue, and then you you put in a control to help it. And
years of therapy, man. Both of us, we absolutely love it. And all that stuff they say, communication is key. You got to use the I feel this. That's all true. Yeah, it sounds so stupid and so cliche. I feel like it works, and it really does. It's so stupid, but it almost makes your comment safe to say.
I tell my wife all the time, because she will start. So if we're on a 1 to 10 scale, she'll start at like 4 and tell me the story or whatever she wants done. I'm like, all right, stop. In your brain, you're understanding this way. I need you to start from the beginning so I can understand how you understand it. But again, just a communication thing, just a small things you learn throughout years of marriage. And I don't have the chaos that you come home to, Unkie. I don't have, like, again, I don't have young kids, but I have a lot of animals. A lot of people have, fishing boats and fancy trucks and car payments and all that. I don't. I have animals, man. That's my passion. And I just have a lot of crap to do when I get home as far as the property. I only have 10 small acres here, but I have shit to do every day. Yeah. Again, we're putting a barn in a couple of weeks. I've got a lot of fence I got to put up. My wife understands that. And I told her today, the dog was at the vet. We were going to pick the dog up from the vet. He has his teeth cleaned. And I said, look, I need you to just pump your brakes a little bit with this barn thing, because a lot of the work that has to happen with this is work that I have to do. Either you're not going to help me or you can't help me. But I need you to pump your brakes and just understand that for me, let me handle it in my space, in my mind, in my time frame. Just open communication. And she's like, yeah, cool, no problem. I understand.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Nice. It's just talking, man. Just communication.
Yeah.
Which so many people are scared to do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's
the mental health.
Because of these. I just held my cell phone up for people not watching.
Yeah.
People get so caught up in text messages and voicemails and instant message or whatever.
Yeah.
Talk to people face to face, man.
Well, there you go, folks. That's some stuff that you look forward to if you're coming into the fire department. It is a lifestyle. The 24-hour or 48-hour shifts, the family life, communications. It's a wild lifestyle, but it's fun. It's so rewarding when somebody calls, asks for help. You're there to make their day better. Somebody's having a bad day, you're there to make it better. You're not giving them tickets or nothing. You're there to hand out stickers.
And I just want to point out that if Matt takes 2 days of leave, he gets 10 days off.
I thought about that.
All I took from this was Pro 4896.
Dude,
my brother's on the 21-day cycle. You take your Wednesday off. That's 8 days, right? Something like that.
God damn.
We had to put
is so white.
Our city,
Holy
when
shit.
they let us go to 4896, they put a miles restriction on how far we could move away from work.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're afraid that you're going to take those 2 days off and you'll work 6 in a row. Because at our department, we can work as many hours a row as we want. And so we could work 6 in a row and get like 21 off or whatever it is. And so we could go live in Utah or wherever, Tennessee, Texas, anywhere we want to go. And
I'm not a will employee.
I take a flight every 3 weeks to
go
to work.
We had a guy the last year of his working for us. He moved his family back to New York. So he would work 1 week at the Firehouse, then drive back up to New York.
Wow.
And it was going great. It got down to he had 3 more months to go. And all of a sudden management goes, wait. What's been going on for the past 8 months? Like you can't do that. You're altering your work schedule. And the union, we're like, that's what trade time is. Yeah, any kind of trade is altering your work schedule. Yeah, but
show me any policy where it says I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, it's at their discretion. What is considered?
That's whatever, dude.
Management's rights, whatever. But anyways, we had a guy week on, week off. I was like, that's a pretty cool hustle. Everybody was fine with it. We're helping doing the trades and stuff with them.
If there's an ass in the seat, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but before we went to 4896, we had a guy working a couple hours away. He was up in Santa Barbara area, three and a half hours away. So he was getting a lot of trades and he was, working a lot of days in a row and having a lot of days off. But I mean, we only have 36 guys on the floor. And that's not very many guys when another person calls in sick or puts a vacation day in. If he's not available when he's 3.5 hours away, then that makes it rough. And so he took some heat from the guys while he was doing that just for that reason. And so when we really looked into going to 4896, we all kind of looked at each other as a union in the same room and said, guys, if somebody has to go home on day one or somebody then who's going to come in day two? Because it's not a new shift. It's the same shift. If a strike team goes out on the brush rig on day one, we need a whole crew to come in for day two, or else we have to brown out a station.
Yeah.
And so everybody looks at each other and like, if we want this amazing schedule that everybody loves, we gotta work as a team here.
Gotta commit to it.
Fucking work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're just going to shoot ourselves in the foot. Because I believe they put a clause in there that says that the fire chief could be like, nope, we're going back to 446 because we're browning out stations too much or whatever.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened at all yet that I know of. But everybody's pretty much on it. So it's good. It's good. But yeah, just know the stressors and all that of getting into the fire service. There's a lot. Do your due diligence, do your research. It's go do a ride along, go do a station visit, ask the guys. I don't know about you guys, but our doors are always open.
Always.
Just not 12 to 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You come over whenever you want. I might be taking a nap, but no, we don't take naps in the fire service.
1 to 3 is not a thing.
No, we take comas. That's what we say. We don't take naps. We take comas.
Take comas. Yeah. Yeah. Come on by. Ask the questions. Yeah. Get into it. It's a great thing. That's what, shit, we've been talking about it for 106 episodes. So it's good. It's good. What else you got?
Good.
We got to get, this is a good segue for, get Kenny back on. Talk about some Operation Yellow Tape or something, the resources you got when all this bullshit does weigh on you too much and your wife's not able to help you or your husband's not able to help you, who you can reach out to. Of course, you can reach out to us.
Kenny just keynoted at an awesome conference.
Dude, he's killing it. I love it.
Before we need to do a moment of silence. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
we didn't do it in the housekeeping, so we're gonna do it right now at the end of the show. We're gonna do our weekly moment of silence for any brothers or sisters who we've lost over the past week. So if y'all will indulge us.
Well said.
Well said.
And also, I forgot to talk about the burn box. So
yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Big Tom for the burn box and the FD Collectors Club. Be looking for coming up soon. I haven't got my email yet, but we should get a goddamn Unkie.
I told you I keep them.
This is a really good box. I need to keep it.
See?
I will be doing a review of the Collectors Club box when it bag box when it comes in. The FD Collectors Club. I should be getting that pretty soon. It should be it's kind of middle of the month. I should get that soon. Yeah. Hope you guys go check out my video of the review of the recent burn box. I'll be posting some shorts on that and using the Modus Snagger tool. Look for that to be coming up pretty soon as well.
Yes.
We are 6 followers short on Spotify of 700. So that's
a big deal.
Yeah. So we'll hit 700.
Tell your mom and them.
Tell your mom and them. All right. Tell your mom and them. Get on there. All right. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were going to talk about possibly switching our podcast to Mondays, but we will talk about that next. We still need to do a meeting, I guess, but
TBD.
So just be aware that might be coming down the pike or the pipe. Which one is it?
Pipe.
Who knows? All right, that's the Cool Fireman podcast. Who's putting us out?
Adam.
Roll it, Gigi.
Roll it, Gigi.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!